Well, good morning, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from beautiful Pensacola, Florida, the second most powerful, passionate, purposeful coach and speaker in the world. I have a conversation with you this morning. I know it seems like it might be a hardcore topic, and yet I think it's pretty important that at some point you recognize that the difference between the life you believe you can live and the life you're currently living, you'll come to a place in life where there's normally one of two things that are going to be the catalyst for that change to take place. And the catalyst is either going to come from inspiration or from desperation. Inspiration or desperation is that lever that is shifted that causes a person to change. One of the things that I love that Tony Robbins used to speak about is he would say something like this. He would say, if you're going to live the life that you intend to live, you've got to recognize that when you succeed, you tend to party. And when you fail, you tend to ponder. When you succeed, you tend to party. When you fail, you tend to ponder. Hey, I can actually see some brothers up in here. Hey, Oscar, good morning, brother. Good to see you. And so the challenge that we have is many times, if we haven't been broken, if we haven't been crushed, if we're not familiar with being in a desperate, vulnerable situation, many times we lack the true motivation to actually engage in a commitment to change. Let me just share this with you. Everybody you know wants to succeed. Everybody you know wants to live a bigger life. Everybody you know believes there's more available for them, even if it doesn't have anything to do with stuff. Let's just say that it has to do with more love, more connection, more commitment, a deeper relationship with God or with their lover or with their children. Everybody knows there's more available to them. So the folks that actually make a difference and a commitment to change are those who have decided. You heard me speak last week about decide. Terrible words out there: suicide, homicide, genocide, to kill oneself, to kill another, to kill a generation. Well, decide comes from the same root, which means to kill off all other options. It's where you no longer vacillate. So here's a question I want to ask you. How much differently would you live life? What is that, Nancy? Did you really? All right, we on the same page, girl. How much differently would you live your life if you knew you were dying and your time was short? How much differently would you live your life if you knew you were dying and your time was short? Well, I got news for you. Buckle up for this. You dying and your time is short. We all are. Quite frankly, we all are. We don't know the day. But none of us is getting out of this deal alive in this physical body. Do you know what I mean? And in light of eternity, we are a blip. We are a speck. We are at a moment. In the line of eternity, we're just boop, a little bitty blip on the radar. So the time is short. You may not realize that the time is short because you may not have thought about it that way before. Eternity is a really long time. So guess what? We all are dying. That's where we're all headed. We don't know the day, and the time is short. So what's it going to take for you to make the decision that it's time to move forward? I was telling my boys a story today at lunchtime, and it was probably about 12 years ago. I was getting ready to renew my life insurance policy with a significantly larger sum, and I remember it like it was yesterday because it was a life-changing experience for Angela and I both. And we got a call from my actual insurance provider guy, and you guys know this if you've been following my videos. Communication is only 7% words. The rest of it is tonality and body language. Well, I couldn't see his body language over the phone, but the tonality told me everything I needed to hear. He called, and I'll do my best to kind of give you the impression. He said, Mr. Collins, I just, do you have a couple minutes to talk? And I'm like, yeah, man, what's wrong? Are you all right? And he said, we got the results back from your labs, and we're not going to be able to insure you. And I can't go into any of the detail, but we need to let you know that we need to get this to your doctor quickly, so your doctor can review this with you. And I'm like, what do you mean, man? And can you tell me, what are you even talking about? Well, I'm freaking out. Right now I'm freaking out. And I'm like, bro, you got to be able to tell me what's up. You can't just make a phone call like this and say what you just said. And he said, I'm not at liberty to talk about it, Mr. Collins. I'm not at liberty to talk about it. I just know that this needs to get to your doctor so your doctor can discuss this. Remember, this was a Friday morning about 10 years ago. And I said, dude, I mean, you can't, what the heck are you even talking about? We can't. And I said, okay, well, because I'm a salesperson, right? I don't stop it. No, I'm like, come on, you got to keep going. I ask great questions. Does that make sense? I create an environment where people want to buy stuff from me. All right. Here's the situation. I go, dude, you cannot make a phone call like this to a man with 7 kids and say, we can't insure you because something came back in your lab report. We can't insure you, need to get it to your doctor. I'm like, dude, you better give me something. I'm going to go ballistic and meet you at your office. I was irate. And he just said, I cannot. And I said, well, then you need to tell me this. Why? What would show up on the radar of a test with a life insurance company that would cause you to not give the policy out? And he was very quiet. And he said, if it was terminal. Well, my world sank in that moment. My heart sank in that moment because I'm a father of 7. This is 10 years ago. My youngest is 2 years old, and then we go to 4, and we go all the way up from there. And I mean, my literal life flashes before my eyes in this Friday moment. And I said, get the stuff to my doctor now. I hung up the phone. I'm kind of shaking like, what the hell is going on, man? I call Angela. We talk. We immediately pray like, God, give us wisdom. Give us wisdom. I don't know what to do. So I call the doctor's office. Told them what they had said. Now the nurse that answered didn't go into detail. She said, we will, get in touch. So she called me back, and her tonality was the same as his. She said, Mr. Collins, we got the report. And unfortunately, the doctor's out today, Friday. He won't be until Monday, and we're not qualified to go over the results of the test with you. Okay, now I'm really freaking out. I'm just flipping. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm not going to know until Monday. You've got to be kidding me. No. So that was Friday morning. In 21 years in real estate, I have never canceled a full day with clients that I had a commitment to. I had commitments to clients that day. I canceled the entire day. Sat down with Angela, and we wept. We just like, what? God, you saved me at 20 years old, rescued me from a heinous addiction that I had had for years and years and years, given me opportunity and hope for the future, a great family, and now it's all over. Like, I don't even know, I couldn't comprehend. But I'll tell you what happened when I knew that I had a terminal something. I knew I need to get my life in order this weekend. I need to create the plan of achievement. I need to figure out a way that I can get my real estate team operational and running so that my family could have a source of income. I need to figure out how to write what I needed to write so that my children would have an inheritance of wisdom and knowledge and experience, not just finances. I had to put dates on things within a short period of time because I did not know how long I would have to live. Given that, it was a very, very, very pensive, very uncomfortable weekend for me. Very, very painful. And yet, in the midst of it, there was this underlying sense that God was in control, and He knew. So fast forward to the Monday, when I canceled my day as well to go into the doctor's office, and he looked at the report, and he said, this is really bad, Steve. For a doctor to say that, that's kind of freaky, right? He said, this is really bad. He goes, it shows, you've got terminal issues with your liver, which you guys can understand what that meant. And he said, but you're not displaying any other symptoms in person. He goes, I want to run one more test. I want to do the blood work myself, and we'll get that back. And I'm like, please, dude, like, come on, man. It's going to take a week to get the results back. Oh my gosh, you're killing me, Smalls. Like, are you kidding me? Another freaking week? Another week of planning, another week of intensity, another week of focus, another week of just locking into Angela, how are we going to deal with this that we don't know how long I have to live? How are we going to deal with it? And we were just beside ourselves. So that week, I made some incredible decisions and set some incredible deadlines because I knew the time was short. And when the results came in, I went into the lab and he looked at it and he said, Steve, they must have made a huge mistake. Everything on your report is totally perfect. You're as healthy as a 20-year-old, man. Now, this was 10 years ago. I was 41. He said, they must have, I said, are you freaking kidding me, man? Are you kidding me? I had just gone through literally 2 weeks or a week and a half of just sheer freak out zone, freak out mode, defining moment in my life when I got that news, only to be told that they had made a mistake. Now, Angela did throw something interesting in the mix, because when I called the guy at the insurance place, he goes like, dude, this doesn't happen. We don't make mistakes. We just don't. Well, what I didn't tell you guys is that from the time I found that out that morning, I contacted every prayer warrior intercessor that I knew to be praying and asking God for healing. And when everybody was saying they made a mistake, Angela made a good point. She goes, what if they didn't make a mistake? What if that was the case when the test was done, and in that week and a half, your intercessors all came together, everybody prayed through, and what if God brought healing to you in that week? And I'm like, either way, it's all good in the hood. Yet here is what happened during that season. What I am living today, the way I live today. You know what? Let me just show you. I used to feel guilty about stuff like this. Look at this. I'm not showing off, guys. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to impress upon you that I don't know how long I got. I don't know how long I'm going to live, right? See, I got this, isn't this great? This cute balcony. I'm hanging with my boys. Look how big this building is, right? And I got this pretty view, and I want to live life as large as I can. We did some of them jet skis yesterday, hanging out. We went to go see a movie last night together. And I don't trip when it comes to being good to my family and being good to myself. Zig Ziglar said you could have anything in life you want if you help enough other people get what they want. Isn't that cool? We were sitting on that table last night looking at the stars for about 3 hours. You can have anything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. How differently would you live your life if you knew that your time was short? If you knew you didn't have that long to live? How would you live differently? Well, my friend, I've got news for you. You are dying, and your time is short compared to eternity. We are all headed towards that hearse that we see driving down the street every couple of weeks with those policemen. That's where we're headed. At least this physical body. Live your life. Live your life. Bust out that china that you have in your china cabinet. Wear that beautiful dress. So what if it doesn't fit the way that you want? Wear it in your damn house for yourself. Wear the cool shirt, dude, that you have sitting in the... Wear the cool... Just do the stuff that you're putting off for a special occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, today's a special occasion. You're alive. You woke up. You have another opportunity to live this right. You don't know when your last day is going to be. And we're all headed towards that same place, at least our physical bodies are. In light of eternity, eternity is a really long time. Life on earth, a blip on the radar in light of eternity. So how would you live differently if you knew you were dying and your time was short? I got news for you. You're dying and your time is short relative to eternity. So I make a suggestion right now that you make the decisions now to live as big of a life as you possibly can. And that doesn't have to do with things or stuff or material. That means becoming all God created you to be. Using your gifts and talents in service to other people so you can live a truly fulfilling life. I pray today that this message has caused you to see your life differently so that you can truly appreciate what you have on the path to going in the direction that you see yourself headed. I pray today that you make some decisions, that you decide, that you kill off all other options and make the commitment to become everything God created you to be, because the world's waiting for you to show up without fear, without being worried, without being scared. The world's waiting for you to show up in your greatness and your boldness. And nobody can make it happen, man, except you. And you can ask the good Lord for help. Have a great day, guys.